Hey guys, it's Emily Gunn presenting my Module 11 presentation over gifts to students or staff. First of all, I'm going to talk about gifts to students and paying for them out of student activity funds. Anytime it's a fundraising incentive, you can give those incentives to students who participated in the fundraising event. For example, like a top seller award or something. However, they do need to be purchased by funds raised by the group fundraising. So, like, if your cheerleaders are raising money for uniforms or something, and you're going to give a top seller award, that award has to be paid for out of the cheerleaders fund account. And gifts not related to the fundraising should not favor one group of students over another. I believe the example was given, like you can't buy pencils for one class just because they were in a certain teacher's classroom. Special achievement gifts should be nominal in value, and the funding from those usually can come from general fund or donations or athletic funds. So if a student achieved an all-state academic award or athletic award, those gifts should be nominal, so they shouldn't cost very much, and those could come from general fund donations or even the athletic fund, especially if it was an athletic award. Oh. And then gifts to staff members. Most of the time, these should be paid for out of what's called a staff remembrance fund, which we're going to talk about. So any special occasion gifts must be reasonably priced and paid for via that staff remembrance fund. Well, where does that come from? Well, that usually comes from annual dues and staff donations. We don't call it a remembrance fund here. We just call it the flower fund, which we don't always use it to pay for flowers and stuff, but everybody puts in like $20 at the beginning of the year, and if somebody retires, there's a gift given out of that fund, or if there's a death in someone's family or things, then those types of things are paid for out of there. And this is managed by a committee written by a set of guidelines, and we don't have a written set of guidelines that we necessarily follow. It's just kind of been, hey, there's $100 in there, and normally we spend $40 on such and such, and everyone votes via email, and that's kind of how it works. There's no written guidelines that we typically follow. You can give staff fundraising incentives to the top seller if the staff member actually participates. It is appropriate. Again, it should be reasonably priced, and just to remember that the cost of that typically is going to counteract any profit that you made from the fundraiser, so it really kind of acts as an expense from the fundraiser itself. And then all staff gifts. So these are like gifts that are given like at the beginning of the year or maybe during Teacher Appreciation Week, a gift that's given to everyone. Again, nominal in cost, should not be very expensive, paid for with staff-generated funds. Could be the Remembrance Fund, or our staff always works at the very first concession stand of the school year, and that just kind of goes into a staff fund. So if we need money for staff, if we want to do something, there's money in there. We just have to ensure that those funds benefit the staff, not necessarily benefit the students. Sometimes in some districts, these funds come from district funds. The district says, hey, you have X amount of dollars to spend on Teacher Appreciation Week gifts. And it's important to remember that cash or items that could be comparable to cash should not be given to employees unless it's going to be reported on the employee's W-2 as taxable income. Oh. And then the third category there is special efforts for specific students or staff members. We just have to be very cognizant and aware. Sometimes we do have staff members or students who are ill, and we want to do a special fundraiser for them to help with medical expenses and things. We just have to be aware that if we do this for one, we better be prepared to do it for all and not playing favorites, and ensuring that anything that is done for those individuals does come out of like fundraising events and not general funds or funds intended to benefit whole staff or whole student groups. That's all I have. Thanks for watching.